Ukrainian and Russian negotiators have begun a second round of United States-brokered talks in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, as they seek to advance the fraught negotiations on how to end Russia's nearly four-year war on Ukraine. The Russian and Ukrainian delegations arrived in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday morning, according to Russian state media and a spokesperson for the Ukrainian chief negotiator. Another round of negotiations has begun in Abu Dhabi. Rustem Umerov, head of the Ukrainian delegation, wrote on social media, adding Kiev's team was seeking to achieve a just and lasting peace.
We begin with the latest peace talks between Ukraine and Russia, and a non-starter at the outset. As talks began in Abu Dhabi earlier today, the Kremlin said that it will not end the war until Kiev agrees to its terms. Those terms include giving up the Donbass, a strategic and mineral-rich region. Ukraine has already rejected the demand, saying it will not give up land that Russia has not even captured.
U.S. President Donald Trump has dispatched Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner to try to corral the sides to an agreement, according to the AFP news agency. The two-day trilateral talks in Abu Dhabi come as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of violating an agreement brokered by Trump that called for ceasing attacks on energy facilities. The Kremlin's hardline rhetoric, along with a massive Russian drone and missile barrage in the run-up to the talks, pounding Ukraine's energy grid and knocking out power and heating in temperatures far below freezing, threatened to overshadow any chances of progress in the Emirati capital. Our position is well known, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters as the talks got underway. Until the Kiev regime makes the appropriate decisions, the special military operation continues, he said, using Russia's term for the war. Zelensky had on Tuesday said that Russia's strikes on Kiev's energy system confirms that attitudes in Moscow have not changed. They continue to bet on war and the destruction of Ukraine, and they do not take diplomacy seriously.
This is CBNEWS. Subscribe to our channel for daily world news update. Stay tuned.
The work of our negotiating team will be adjusted accordingly, he said, without elaborating. Trump, however, said Russian President Vladimir Putin had kept his word with a week-long promise not to hit the capital or critical energy facilities. It's a lot, 1 week. We'll take anything because it's really, really cold over there, Trump said Tuesday. I want him to end the war, Trump added of Putin. Asked if he was disappointed Putin had not extended the pause, he replied, I would like him to. Many Ukrainians here are hoping that there will be another pause on strikes targeting energy infrastructure. After the second meeting in Abu Dhabi, Al Jazeera's Audrey McAlpine said, reporting from Kiev. However, given the very little progress that was achieved during the first round of meetings, many here are not hopeful that a deal will be struck with Russia, McAlpine added. The first round of meetings was held in the UAE last month, marking the first direct public negotiations between Moscow and Kiev on a plan proposed by the Trump administration to end the conflict, Europe's worst since World War II. While the Trump administration over the past year has pushed the two sides to find compromises, breaking the deadlock on key issues appears no closer as the fourth anniversary of Russia's invasion of its neighbor approaches this month. The main sticking point is the long-term fate of territory in eastern Ukraine, large parts of which Russia has occupied. Security guarantees for Ukraine against future Russian attacks have also been an obstacle. Moscow is demanding that Kiev pull its troops out of swaths of the Donbass, including heavily fortified cities that sit atop vast natural resources, as a condition of any deal. It also wants international recognition for the land it has unilaterally annexed in eastern Ukraine. Kiev said the conflict should be frozen along the current front lines and has rejected a one-sided pullback of forces. While Ukraine's delegation is headed by Umerov, the head of the National Security and Defense Council, Russia is represented by its military intelligence director, Igor Kostyukov, a career naval officer sanctioned in the West over his role in the Ukraine invasion. Russian presidential envoy Kirill Dmitriev attended talks in Florida with U.S. officials over the weekend. While neither side released details of what was discussed, Witkoff said they were productive and constructive. Russia, which occupies about 20% of its neighbor, has threatened to take the rest of the Donetsk region in the Donbass if talks fail. Ukraine has warned that ceding ground will embolden Moscow, and it will not sign a deal that fails to deter Russia from invading again. Kyiv still controls about 1/5 of the mineral-rich Donetsk region. Russia also claims the Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia regions as its own, and holds pockets of territory in at least 3 other eastern Ukrainian regions. The majority of the Ukrainian public is against a deal that hands Moscow land in exchange for peace, according to opinion polls. On the battlefield, Russia has been notching up gains at immense human cost, hoping it can outlast and outgun Kyiv's stretched army. Zelensky has been pushing his Western backers to boost their own weapons supplies and heap economic and political pressure on the Kremlin to halt the invasion.
CB News, bringing you World News Update. Thank you for watching.